The Gray Train by Luminoustygian. I hear sobbing. It is a familiar sound, something choked and laced with pain. I want to comfort this person, but when I open my weary eyes, I am met with endless red. A lone tear slides down my face. I am lying on an open field, gazing at the sky. It looked as if a stream of blood would burst out from the heavens any moment, dyeing the world in a single shade of red. The grasses surrounding me tuft and wave like the ocean would on a clear day, but I do not hear the chirps of birds, the cries of cicadas, or even the scuttering of small critters. The breeze seeps into my bones, immersing me into a sea of dread. Vision darkening, I stand on wobbly knees. I take unsteady steps towards a crowd that I spot afar. As I draw nearer, I notice that they are unmoving, transfixed at what lay before them, train tracks. "Where am I?" I ask one man. I jump back when he turns towards me. His face is disfigured with fresh burns, melted eyes halfway out of their sockets. The man grins sinisterly and breaks out into a strained laughter. One by one, the crowd laughs along as if they'd heard a ridiculous joke. I stumble backwards, taking notice of the crowd's features. A woman with a missing jaw as she cradles an infant, a man with a quarter of his head blown off, a child with intestines pouring out of their stomach. I could not look any longer, shutting my eyes and blocking the horrid laughter out. Suddenly, I feel the ground tremor and the crowd quiets down. I hear the sound of a steam train on the tracks from afar. When a gray train finally appears over the horizon, the crowd breaks loose. They turn into wild beasts, clawing and biting at each other. I see a man bite into a woman's face, tearing off flesh and exposing bone. I see a child who's pushed to the ground, trampled over by multiple people. Those at the front cling to the train. Most slip off and are pulled down, either trampled or swept under the train and flattened. I catch a glimpse at the face of one man who is successfully boarded. It is a look of pure bliss. The train seemed to go on forever, but when it finally leaves, I'm surrounded by a ground full of corpses. Those who survived and are left behind start to weep. It is a chorus of anguished souls, a cacophony of suffering. "Why aren't you crying, darling?" A voice breaks me out of my thoughts. The source of the voice is a small crow perched on my shoulder. "Should I be?" I ask. "You'd have to wait 1,000 years for the gray train to arrive again, darling." "Where does it take you?" The crow tilts its head in what I swear is amusement. "Back to life, darling."